Hello, I'm Armin Budish. Welcome to Golden Opportunities.
Today, a top GI reports for duty and gives us a battle plan to fight colon cancer. Then, let's welcome spring with a creative craft. Did you greet the day with a smile? We'll help your teeth rise and shine. Plus, we'll direct parents of adult children with disabilities to new avenues for help. And we'll reveal a little-known strategy to save you thousands of dollars.
It's time to get GOing, so pull up a chair and join us at our kitchen table for Golden Opportunities. We trust our bodies to send out signals when our health's at risk. But when it comes to colon cancer, significant symptoms can be scarce. The good news is simple screening can be life-saving. Dr. Ronnie Fass is here to tell us more. Dr. Fass is the director of the Division of Gastroenterology and Hepatology at Metro Health's Gastroenterology Division. Did I say those right? Not so good.
Pretty good.
You say it once.
So I'm the director of the Division of Gastroenterology and Hepatology at the Metro Health.
Okay, that's exactly the way I said it. All right, so what types of screening are we talking about, Doctor?
So we're talking primarily about colonoscopy, which is a common technique, a common procedure that we do at the hospital. And with this technique, we evaluate the colon, trying to really pick up polyps. And polyps are considered to be the precursors for colorectal cancer.
If you find these polyps early, treatable?
Absolutely, and that's the idea. The idea is really to pick up those polyps, remove them, and by that preventing patients from having colorectal cancer. And studies have shown that colorectal cancer has been one of the few cancers that was impacted by these type of techniques, screening, colonoscopy, preventive approach.
And just so everybody's clear, if we don't pick these up early, it can be a bad result.
Absolutely. So what happened is that they can progress, transform, and become cancerous, and then as a result, it could be too late for patients.
So are there symptoms that we would know about?
Yes. So in the early stage of the disease, you may not have symptoms, but as the disease progresses, it may result in different manifestations. For example, it can lead to blood in stool. You can see change in bowel habits. Stools may be narrow, what we call pencil-like stool. Patients may develop belly pain, cramps, and others, and then alterations in bowel movements like diarrhea and constipation.
But you shouldn't wait till you have symptoms like you just went through to have the colonoscopy, right?
No, you shouldn't wait. And the idea is that you should have this screening colonoscopy. If you're an average risk person, then you should get it at the age 50. Okay. And if it's normal, you have to repeat it every 10 years.
All right. And what kinds of other factors would enter into having this more often? Or
so there are certain risk factors. The first thing, obviously, is age. And I mentioned if you're older than 50, it's time to get colon screening. If you're a smoker, if you're overweight, if you're not physically active, if you eat too much red meat, and in particular, if you have family history of colorectal cancer, especially if you have first-degree relatives, parents, siblings, or children.
Okay, so the message is get screened. That's what we want to tell our viewers. Get screened, do it now, right?
Loud and clear. That's the message.
And we're going to give a phone number. They can call you, and the screening is not so bad anymore these days, right? I mean, even the PrEP scared people. You know, it wasn't that comfortable taking the drinks and all that. I've been through this, I can guarantee you. But it's better now.
It's better now, and I did it myself too, and the PrEP is not too bad. And the procedure itself also, we give medication, so you are sedated through the procedure, so many patients don't even remember the procedure itself. So I think it's very important to get the procedure and get it out of the way.
Yeah, for me, the procedure itself was, you know, I was asleep, and when I woke up, I was pretty good. So it was the PrEP, and the PrEP is better now too. So everything's getting better.
That's correct.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Appreciate it. All the information Dr. Fass shared about colon cancer is vitally important. Here's the bottom line. The bottom line, get it? Screening saves lives, and it could save yours. So if you haven't had a colonoscopy or if it's been a while, don't put it off. Use the information that's coming up next. Pick up the phone, get scheduled to get screened.
To make an appointment with a specialist in Metro Health's Gastroenterology Division, call 216-778-5736. Or for more information, click to www.metrohealth.org/GI. Next, blossoming with creative ideas. But first, in the era before email, when snail mail ruled, we were asked to add 5 digits to the end of an address to help our mail zip to its destination. But do you know what the letters ZIP stand for? Our first-class research will crack the code on this mailing mystery when we return.
Welcome to Breckenridge Village, a continuing care retirement community conveniently located in historic Willoughby, Ohio. Whether it's a luxury apartment, a spacious ranch home, or newly built brownstones, it's all here with the added security of knowing more care is available when you need it. Breckenridge Village offers an exciting and upbeat lifestyle, and the food is fabulous, and our staff makes you their #1 priority. Learn more about Breckenridge Village and come see our new Veal Wellness and Aquatic Center.
When the post office gave its stamp of approval to the Zone Improvement Plan, or ZIP, they arrived at a letter-perfect answer for zipping our mail to its destination.
Want to help spring blossom? We've got a hot craft that Karen Edenfield's here to help us pin down. Karen's an inspiration specialist with Joann Fabric and Craft Stores. Karen, welcome back.
Thank you.
And what are we making today?
We're going to make these fabric flowers, and they're just layers of organza, and we've melted the edge, and that's what gives it the interesting texture around the edge.
Okay, so what do you mean you've melted the edge?
Well, I'll show you what we need.
Okay.
Well, I'll show you the supplies, and then I'll have you get started on it.
Okay.
We start out with some organza, and this is a synthetic fiber, so it will melt.
Is this it?
And that's I have it pre-cut into some 4-inch pieces.
I see that. Very
And
nice
then,
of you.
and then some silky fabric that's a polyester blend also, so it will melt. So what we're going to do is just take the square
All right.
and
Just
fold it
one
in half,
piece?
and just one piece at a time.
Okay.
Fold it in half, and then in half again,
Okay, I can do that much.
and then again. So it'll be a sort of a wedge shape, look like that.
Oh, like a triangle.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we'll sort of hold on to the pointed part, the end, and cut a petal shape. So I'm just going to cut around, and it'll look
Just cut around like that?
sort of like that.
Sort of like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Sort of
Looking
like that.
good.
All right.
and then open it up.
Okay.
And then we're going to sizzle the edges just a little bit, so they're going to melt just a
Sizzle,
little bit.
like in burn?
Well, no. We don't want you to burn it.
All right.
So think of it like a marshmallow. When you're roasting it, it can be just sort of golden brown, or you can really make it burn. Well, we're going to make it golden brown. So
Okay.
just go along the edge, and you can
Put
see
it
that
right
it
near the fire.
just folds back.
I'm a little worried about if I stick this in the
Well,
fire.
what I've done is I have a bowl of water, and we also have a fire extinguisher, because I've crafted with you before, so that's why we have a fire extinguisher.
Yes, you know how I do. Okay.
So just go around the edge, and you can see it starts curling up.
Mine's not curling up.
See how you're... Yeah, there you go.
Oh, you really stick it in there.
Now, the big
Okay.
thing is, as you turn it, just...
Ow.
Okay, I was just going to say, as you turn it, make sure you don't touch the part that you just melted, because it's still hot.
All right.
I didn't have a chance
That was not good. Okay, so once you do, we'll
Okay,
use
so-
yours.
No, I have some already made. Are you okay? And I've sizzled quite a few of them, and I started with this fabric and then chose organzas in other colors.
Okay.
So I'm just going to stack them up with a needle and thread.
How long does it take to make all these, like the way you just did?
Oh, no more than a half hour.
Okay.
It's very brief.
Okay, so
start-
people like me, an hour at least.
And then can you sew on a button?
Oh yes, I'm very
Okay.
good at sewing on
So
a button.
this is just like sewing on a button.
Okay.
Just start in the middle and pull it up, and then we're just layering it. So we're just almost
You
like
just stick it
stringing
through
beads.
one time through each
Yes.
one, and you make like a
And we're just stacking them up.
tower of them.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then after you have them all stacked up, then just sew like down and up and down, just like a button.
Okay.
And then I like to add beads. So in the center, I just have some simple beads, just things like this. You can get sparkly beads.
Very
so we
nice.
have beads in the center, and then I sewed a pin backing to the back. And to sew this on is really like sewing on a long skinny button. It's just sew it on. So if you can sew on that button, you can sew on the pin
Sew on
backing.
the pin. Okay.
And then you're ready to go. And
Sounds
so,
great.
Very easy to do.
Very
Yeah.
easy.
Right.
Thank you. And they make these beautiful things that turn out looking a lot better than this.
And we do have directions on Joanne.com so
Very
that you
good.
can find out how
We're
to
going
do
to give a number right now.
Okay, great.
All right, so Karen deserves a giant bouquet for inspiring all of us. Now it's time for you to spring into action and fashion your own fabulous floral pin that looks like this, not like this. My thanks to Karen Edenfield for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you.
For more great craft ideas, call Joanne Fabric and Craft Stores at 1-888-739-4120 or visit their website, www.joanne.com. Next, is your smile ready for spring? Looking for places to go, things to do? Welcome to our community calendar. Are annuities an answer to your own economic issues? Find out at a seminar presented by the Lineweaver Financial Group at their offices in Valley View. This free event takes place Tuesday, March 19th at 1 p.m. and again Thursday, March 21st at 6:30 p.m. To register, call 1-888-313-4009 or log on to www.lineweaver.net.
Perhaps the invention of the iPad hasn't rocked your world, and you may think smartphones sound like a dumb idea. But when it comes to technology, the latest dental innovations can change your life. Dentist Steve Marsh is here to show us and tell us about the techniques and materials that are modern must-haves when you're deciding on a dentist. Thanks for joining us today,
My
Steve.
pleasure, Armin.
So, there are times when folks have to find a new dentist or get a dentist. Maybe they've moved or whatever, and now we're talking about the tools that we should look for it and ask whether a dentist has. Tell us about some of these cool things.
Well, first thing, I think a relationship is important, whether you're working with a dentist, an attorney, whatever you have. One of the things that's important in my own career is that I work with a lot of specialists, people who, oral surgeons, for example, the same way you may work with a tax attorney. So that relationship's important. When you do a lot of cosmetic dentistry, which is probably about half of my practice in relationship to the other work, which is just general dentistry, you need a relationship with a laboratory, and so that's very important. I will tell you that I work with a lot of younger dentists. It isn't just people moving, but I work with younger dentists who say, what are the things that you think are important that a dentist should have? So whether you're choosing a dentist or you're a dentist setting up a practice, you want to have these things. I think these are pretty essential.
Walk us through. What's this?
Well, I have 4 things I want to start with, show you. This is a digital x-ray.
Okay.
A digital x-ray, instead of putting that piece of cardboard that we used to put in, we put this instrument in.
Into your mouth.
Into your mouth, and we take a digital x-ray, and immediately it shows up on a computer. First of all, I can show the patient on the computer exactly what they have. Here's a patient looking at her own x-rays, so the patient learns and gets acclimated to what they have, and I'm able to explain that in a much better session. It's also 90% less radiation than
So we
conventional
don't have to
x-rays.
worry.
Not at all. It's the way we should do it. My own family, my own mouth, once a year for x-rays.
I want you to tell us about the funny glasses.
Yeah, these are to funny glass. I'd let you hold them, Armin, but I saw what you did in the last segment. And these are very important to me.
You're afraid I'm going to break them?
Yeah, and this is really, I think, part and parcel of the most important thing a dentist should have today. These are microscope glasses, and sometimes you can actually use a microscope as well. But this allows me as a dentist, or any dentist who wears them, to see in your mouth, and everything's expanded. It's like looking at a movie screen. So we're looking in your mouth. It makes sure that we do a much better job, much more careful job. So I think all dentists should be using some form of this. My own dad used something like this 30, 40 years ago.
I'm sure these are a lot more effective than those were.
Yeah, but he did a beautiful job.
I'm sure.
This is a diagnodent. When a dentist goes in your mouth, in the old days we put that Explorer in to look for decay. Well, we can't always tell exactly from that pointer. The diagnodent is a laser type instrument and it measures the density of the tooth. So when there's a question about whether or not you actually have decay, we'll put this in the mouth. Let me bring it down so your viewers can see it. And I actually have a model on which I'm going to then show it. And it measures density. And so here it gives you a reaction.
And it makes that noise when there's decay in your mouth.
Yes.
It can find the decay.
It can find the decay. It also gives a numeric reading.
Wow.
So that when we're thinking, well, there's a divot, is it actually decay or not, this helps us do it.
All right, and you brought some pictures, and I want to make sure we have a chance to look at these before and after pictures and how they relate.
Well, thanks. This is a patient who came to me, and we were able to use almost all the tools we have. She was unhappy with her smile, very outgoing, had a very important position, but really didn't smile. She's a very warm person. We were able to use some of these new materials, some of these new porcelains that we've talked about in the past to give her this beautiful smile, literally remade her whole smile. And she's a wonderful person, and now is the smile to go with it.
That's great.
But we used almost all the instruments with her picture.
Okay.
We even used diagnostic things like these things to look at decay.
All right, very good. One last thing that I skipped here. This is
We
looks
call
like
this
a little,
Caries dye.
little paint or some dye.
Yeah, it's actually a dye. And so when we're working on a patient, we clean out an old filling. We actually put this dye on the tooth. We dip this brush in it. We put it on the tooth. And then we wash it off. And any dye that's remaining tells us that there's still decay. Now that should be used every time you're taking out an old filling or doing new decay detection and taking away to make sure all the decay's out. Not unlike if you had cancer surgery, you want to make sure all the cancer's out. Well, dentists should also be using this on every case.
Great information, great tips to help us pick the right dentist. Thank you
Thanks.
very much, Steve. Appreciate it. These technological tools of the trade can help you determine if your dentist is delivering up-to-date treatment. To learn more, give Steve a call. His number's up next.
See what Dr. Stephen Marsh can do for your smile by calling 440-461-1003 or visit www.clevelandsmiles.com. Next, developments in helping the disabled. It's time to get up and go. An exercise minute on golden opportunities.
Hello, I'm Mike Harbin from Breakout Fitness, and today we're going to work our glutes and our hamstrings by doing a bridge. This is a great exercise that'll help us have more mobility and help us be able to walk longer distances without getting so tired. You ready to go, Armand?
I was having a good nap.
All right, we're going to do this exercise lying flat on our back. You want your shoulders squared up on the floor, feet flat and knees slightly bent, shoulder width apart, okay? We're simply going to raise our backside up, pointing our hips towards the ceiling, and squeeze for a 2-3 count, all the way back down. Good job, but try to get a little higher, Armand. All the way up.
This isn't fair. I got more to lift.
All the way down and all the way up. Remember, use slow and controlled movements. You want to make sure you're not jerking. 2 to 3 times a week, 12 to 15 repetitions, a little higher. And now it's your
This is
turn.
a low bridge.
Now it's your turn to get up and go.
For your copy of the exercise booklet, please send $1 for postage to Golden Opportunities, 23240 Chagrin Boulevard, Suite 450, Beechwood, Ohio, 44122.
Insomnia is a common problem as we age, but if you're a parent of an adult child with a disability, the question, who will care for my child when I'm no longer able? That can haunt your nights and days. There's help and hope available thanks to organizations like New Avenues to Independence and their amazing volunteers. Joining us to show us why is Karen Knavel, the Community Relations and Housing Director at New Avenues, and Kelly, a client. Welcome to both of you today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, Karen, we'll start with you. Older patients are rightly concerned with the welfare of a child with a disability. They may not realize that there are services and help available. Tell us about it.
That's true, Armand. Many parents feel like they have to go it alone, that there is no help out there. But New Avenues has many programs and services that can help both the parent and the child. each year we provide services to over 600 individuals with disabilities throughout Northeast Ohio. So we help folks like Kelly with housing, both permanent and emergency housing. We help with jobs and employment opportunities. We help with medical appointments and follow up with physician's orders. We also help with daily living activities. So if they need help grocery shopping, or if Kelly needs help with her laundry, we can help with those kinds of services as well.
So Kelly, it's your turn now. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and has New Avenues, how it's been helpful to you?
Well, I like to dance. I like to go shopping, and I love my staff at home. I like to party.
You like to have fun.
I like to have fun in my house and relax in my pajamas.
When did you go to New Avenues? How old were you? Do you remember that?
17.
17? And you've been with the agency now for?
Over 25 years.
Wow, that's great. And your grandmother initially raised you, if I understand that?
Yes. My mom she was kind of...
She had substance abuse issues. She wasn't well at the time, so Kelly's grandmother helped her out, and she lived with her grandmother. And
do you live with other people now?
Yes, I do. I live seven other women in Bucknell.
Oh, great. Are you working, Kelly?
Buckeye. I do shredding, foreign papers. I got a paycheck.
Great. That's very good to get a paycheck. Some of our viewers wish they could get more of a paycheck. What is that picture of there, Kelly?
That's Mary.
Is she one of the volunteers or workers there?
She's a volunteer, actually.
She's volunteers at the holiday ball. And Paula Jordan, she's a house monitor.
Very good.
And that's my housemates.
Very good. And let's come back to you for a minute, Karen. Employment opportunities for individuals with disabilities. Tell us about that.
Absolutely. Our vocational services program is called Buckeye Industries, and currently there's over 96 individuals like Kelly who participate in the program, 56 of whom are earning a wage. We offer area employers document destruction, styrofoam, cardboard, plastic recycling. Yes.
And these are people working there?
Correct. They're working on an outsourced production work.
Great.
Job. And then we also have Avenues Art, which is an art studio for artists with disabilities, and then we sell their artwork in the community.
If our viewers want to help, because this is a wonderful, wonderful program, how can our viewers get involved?
Absolutely. We appreciate volunteers, of course. Our agency depends on over 300 volunteers every year to achieve our mission, and so we'll match somebody's skills and interests with a volunteer opportunity.
Great.
So, for example, when you saw Mary up on the screen, she comes over and helps the ladies plant a garden every year.
That's great. And would you accept a check if somebody wants to send us some money?
Absolutely, yes.
All right. Well, we're going to put up a number, but thank you both, Karen, Kelly, for joining us today.
Thank you.
So, housing, recreation, job skills, these are vital to many individuals who have disabilities, and New Avenues to Independence provides them. To find out more about the services that are offered by New Avenues, or to offer your own services and support, volunteer, money, whatever, use the information that's coming up next. My thanks to Karen and Kelly for joining us today.
Thank you.
For more information, call New Avenues to Independence at 216-481-1907 or log on to www.newavenues.net. Next, a little-known strategy to save you thousands of dollars.
Sometimes it's about beating the clock. Sometimes it's about beating fate. And sometimes it's about beating the unimaginable. But there's one opponent our team loves to beat more than any other. We love beating the odds. We are the Metro Health System. We are the proud sponsor of the comeback.
Do you have stocks, real estate, or other investments that have gone up in value over the years? Those nice gains can take a big hit when you sell because of a stiff tax on the profits. And this year, the tax is going up for many Americans. So is there a way to protect those profits? My law partner, Mike Solomon's here to reveal a little-known strategy that could save you thousands of dollars in capital gain taxes. Thanks for joining us, Mike. Mike, what's the capital gains tax?
Well, basically, if you buy stock, let's say, or real estate, and it grows in value, when you sell it, you pay tax on the growth, on the appreciation. That's capital gains tax.
What's happening to the capital gains tax?
Well, beginning this year in 2013, we have a whole variety of tax rates. If a single person has taxable income of less than $36,250, there's a 0% capital gains tax. Married couple, $72,500. And then if your income's above, a single person, above $36,000, up to $200,000, the capital gains rate's 15%. Then between $200,000 and $400,000, it's 18.8%. That's a Medicare tax. And then when the income gets above $400,000, the tax rate, capital gains rate, can be 23.8%.
So give us a quick example here.
So let's say your income is, you're a single person, your income's $36,000, just regular income, and you bought some Google stock for $10,000. It's grown to $110,000. You sell it, you made $100,000 of profit. You're going to pay federal capital gains tax of 15% of that, or $15,000.
Is there any way to avoid the tax?
Well, there are two ways you can possibly avoid or reduce the tax. One is die. If you die...
That's not such a good way to do it,
That's true. That's a tough way. But if you die, all the capital gains are wiped out. It's called step-up of income tax basis.
Give us a better way.
A better way is, let's say you have this gain. You give the stock away to someone in a lower income bracket. Let's say you have a son who is in school, 23 years old, doesn't have any income. If you gave away the Google stock to the son, he turns around and sells it. A portion of that $100,000 gain is going to have a 0% capital gains rate.
So he might pay zero, you'd pay $15,000.
That's right.
Maybe save $15,000.
Right, up to 15, probably 5 in this example.
By giving it away.
That's right.
Thank you, Mike. Great advice. Mike's just giving you two strategies which you can use to save thousands of dollars. While dying is pretty extreme, giving away an appreciated asset to be sold can make a lot of sense. If you're dying to learn more, give Mike a call.
Call Budish, Solomon, Steiner, and Peck at 1-888-236-5173 for more information or to schedule a speaker for your organization. Or log on to www.budishandsolomon.com.
Until next week, please make the most of your golden opportunities.
Would you like to join our kitchen conversation? All you have to do is call toll-free 1-877-765-1543 and leave us your question, name, and phone number. Or log on to www.golden.tv for all the latest information and show updates. Golden